And welcome back to another episode of the Bobby and No Beardy Show, classic edition. Again, Beardy is too busy sipping those cocktails out of a coconut to be here, but TorgiePie is back with me once again, and we're talking Hellboy once again. This time it's Hellboy 2, the Golden Boogaloo Army. It's the Golden Army. Couldn't help myself. Wanted to make a stupid joke. If you want to know our thoughts on the first film, link in the description. Spoilers throughout because this is a classic review. Time codes below, and we're also on Spotify. That's all my admin out of the way. Torgie, welcome back. How the devil are you?
Hi, I'm good. I love the Hellboy franchise, and I'm excited to have seen the second one again.
Excellent. Well, here's the rundown, and then we'll get straight into it. So, released 4 years after Hellboy 2, the Golden Boogaloo Army, was released in July of 2008, directed and written by Guillermo del Toro, from a story he co-wrote with Mike Mignola. The film once again stars Ron Perlman as Hellboy, alongside Selma Blair, Doug Jones, who's doing the whole Abe Sapien this time. Jeffrey Tambor is back, and joining the cast are Seth MacFarlane as Johann Kraus, who is just a big bag of gas in an old diver's suit. Luke Goss is Prince Nuada Silverlance, and Anna Walton is his sister as Princess Nuala. John Hurt also reprises his role as Hellboy's human dad.
You did it again.
In a flashback. Sir John Hurt.
Thank you.
Reprises his role as Hellboy's human dad in a flashback. In this film, Hellboy and the BPRD must battle a mythical elven prince who plans on reclaiming his throne and kicking the humans in the weenus. I'm pretty sure that's what you read on the back of the DVD.
Can you see this light on my head?
Yeah, look at you.
I couldn't tell if that was on my monitor or if it was in real life. So as you're saying that, you can just see me going.
Great. Great. It's got a runtime of 2 hours. The budget, 85 million, which is 20 more than the original. And the worldwide box office is 170, which is 70 more than the original. So figures be going up. In today's coin, that's a budget of 125 million and a box office of 250 million, thereabouts. So it's basically doubled its money on this film, which is pretty good. It's a much better return than the original, but it didn't dominate the box office by any means. And just in terms of there not being a third film, I would have thought, based on the fact that they've only put in 20 more millions into the budget, it's come back with a return box office return, good critical reviews again. They would have been interested in that third film. Never happened. Big boo. But you want to know why it didn't do as well as it potentially could have done in the theaters? Do you know what came out a week later?
Oh, no.
So it had a 70% drop in its second week. And the film that came out that demolished it was Batman the Dark Knight. Batman killed Hellboy.
Damn.
Christian Bale is an asshole, as far as I'm concerned.
But wait, I spent the whole review that I was on Batman saying how much I liked that movie.
No. That was the 90s Batman. We were talking about Batman Forever.
Yeah, but in that episode, I said how much I liked the Christian Bale Dark Knight movie.
Well, there you go. You're wrong. You've got to. We'll re-edit that episode where we reviewed Batman Forever.
Yeah, edit. Just take that out.
And we'll put you going, I hate Batman. So yeah, basically, it got trounced. It just these happens to good films every so often. A good film will come out, and then just a more popular film will just come out and go. Like the Mission Impossible, most recent Mission Impossible, got trounced by something as well. Oh, it was Barbie and Oppenheimer came out like a week after.
I mean, that'll do it. That's kind of a rough couple of movies to go.
Just took out all of the IMAX screens and yeah, that massive phenomenon of Barbie and Oppenheimer coming out at the same time, and everyone went and saw both of them at the same time. Yeah.
Oof.
Anyway, let's talk about the actual film. I have watched Hellboy 1 countless times. Countless times.
You also said in the last review that you didn't like this movie the first time you saw it.
It's true. I didn't like it.
So I'm excited to hear what you feel about it now.
Well, I have to have seen this film out of the cinema, but I must have only seen it a couple of times at most. Love the original. This one on a rewatch, still not the biggest fan of it.
That's fair. That's okay.
And you know why?
That's okay.
You know why I don't like it as much? I've got several reasons, but number one, I think this film is missing a truck flip. 0 out of 10.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
I'll go into why I'm not the biggest fan of this movie, as we discuss things. But just there's a lot of just lacking, and the characters and things. There are some things I really enjoy. Like I'll just list a few off now. Mr. Wink, the Troll Market. I enjoy the Golden Army, the big fight at the end, and the big cogs.
The big bionicles?
Yeah, it's all good stuff. There's a lot of character stuff that I'm just like, what are we? However, are you excited to know that we can officially add Hellboy 2 to the Christmas movies list?
Yeah.
Opening scene, Christmas movie. Confirmed.
I'm going to watch this movie and The Princess Bride because that also opens to a scene that's happening at Christmas time, which means that's also a Christmas movie. I'm just going to be back to back.
Because the movie...
On Christmas Day.
The movie reopens. A big flashback. Sir John Hurt is back. And he's giving young Hellboy... Well, he's trying to get him to go to bed. But young Hellboy's not having anything. Anyway, he's like, no, I don't want to. I want to
It's hard to tell if it's Hellboy or if a beaver just like found its way into his house.
Okay, so
because Hellboy's got these chompers on him. This poor kid can't even talk around these artificial teeth in his face.
Oh, so my first note I wrote down.
Poor kid's trying to deliver his lines. My first line: big teeth, big teeth, big teeth.
Young Hellboy gives me the creeps in this film, and
he's so creepy. He's like, gross, and he sleeps with a gun.
He sleeps with his
Why
little toy
does a child
pistol?
sleep with a gun?
Oh yeah, I'm just like, what's going on? And they've like ADR'd him, and it's just because he can't talk because of those huge
It's horrible.
teeth.
I hate it so much.
So cringy. I hate every single bit of it. And then they have the bedtime story is conveniently, it's not a Biff, Chip and Kipper book. That is a very UK reference for those who learned to read in the UK. Instead of it just being a normal story, it just how happens to be the story of the elves and the Golden Army. What a coincidence! But I kind of wish they'd got young Broom, back from the first one to play, well, his dad again rather than Sir John Hurt. I thought it was really good, and I
wonder if he was like busy and like doing something, and they were like, "Well, I mean, we got the old guy, so like, I guess we'll just."
Well, we got several people.
I guess we'll just use this guy.
We've got several people who are too busy to show up. So we'll get to that in a minute. I just want to, before we continue any further, I just want to once again talk about how great the character designs are in this film. They look so cool.
Yeah.
The monsters look so
I think the character
incredible.
designs in this just expound so much more upon the ones that were made for the first movie. Because, like, the first movie, Del Toro was like, okay, here are some creepy monsters, but, like, we're just going to see how y'all feel about the creepy monsters. And everyone was like, we love your creepy monsters. We actually want to smooch all of them on the forehead. And he was like, bet, say less. So he made bajillions of monsters in this movie. And they're all so good. They're all so cool.
First movie, you basically have the hounds, the puppet of the guy from the graveyard, and then there's a big squid fight as well. That's kind of it. In this one, you've got the troll market. It's full of them. You got the little tooth fairies who nibble everybody and eat everybody. And,
oh, the tooth fairies are sick. The tooth fairies are so cool.
Mr. Wink, the cave troll, is my favorite character. He's incredible.
Justice for Wink.
Justice for Wink.
He didn't deserve that.
No, he didn't. Yeah, right. So Mr. Wink.
He was like, bruh, you fucked up my hand. And Hellboy's like, I don't give a fuck. And then he died. No, I can't. It's Cujo all over again. I can't do it.
Yeah. So he's a giant. If you haven't seen it and you need me to describe it to you, Mr. Wink is a giant cave troll with a giant metal fist that he can shoot off like a gun. It's on a chain so he can wind it back. How that works, I don't need to know. I don't care. It looks cool. One time his hand like jumps up and scuttles back to him as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a little spider. It's fantastic. And you know, the second you see him on screen, he's got a big metal fist. You're like, right, we're at a big punch off later, and I'm here for it.
And boy, do we.
Yeah.
Boy, do we have a punch off.
But it's just like these real characters in costumes and not just CGI that they can interact and they can touch and like punch, and they're real and they're there, and they're like, yes, more of this. Yeah. Please. Yeah, okay. The Golden Army later on, probably almost exclusively CGI.
I would assume so. I do still think their design looked cool.
They do look cool, especially when they all pop back up later on.
I really liked Bionicles growing up, and they're just big, chunky old Bionicles.
Yeah. But my one criticism of this film is there's just simply not enough Mr. Wink. He loses his big punch off with Hellboy slightly too early. I feel like he could have...
Okay, this happens way later on in the movie, by the way. This does not happen at the beginning.
It's like halfway through. But he could have been a great adversary throughout the entire film. And they kind of like...
Yeah.
At the troll market, he meets his demise. He gets pulled through a
but it wasn't about Wink. It was about the prince and the princess.
It should have been him. It should have been called Hellboy and Mr. Wink. It could have been a Deadpool and Wolverine scenario where it's just two guys with big fists punching people in the face. That's what I want to see. Hashtag justice for Wink.
Hashtag justice for Wink. Yeah, he didn't deserve that.
He
didn't deserve it. He was just doing his job. He literally showed up for work on time. He was great at what he did. He was helping out the prince with his taking over the worlding.
He was.
And
for some
he
reason.
didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it.
He must be getting a nice paycheck. Yeah, he fires his fist. He gets stuck in a grinder, and Hellboy's just like twangs on the chain. He's like,
no, because he's about to do it. He's like, you messed up my hand. I'm gonna do it. And Hellboy's like, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, I'm not listening to you. You're not my real mom. And he punches it, and it goes into the grinder. And then Hellboy goes, I literally told you not to do it, you dumb idiot.
And he gets mushed. Almost.
Yeah. Poor Mr. Wink.
A moment for Mr. Wink.
Looked really cool, though.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Great.
He looked really cool.
Great stuff.
I bet his face is soft like a horse. Like if you pet him like right here on his nose, it would be nice and soft like like a horse.
He'd be like, no, leave me alone.
He'd be like, no,
and
stop
then
it. But his lip would do the whole little...
Yeah.
He would like reach out his lips for. He'd be like, no, wait, but I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, just please, I want some of that.
Yeah.
Did you miss John Myers in this film as much as I did?
Absolutely fucking not. What? I didn't need him in the first movie.
Okay, so... I spent most of the last...
He deserved his ass to get sent to Antarctica. He was just creeping all up on Hellboy's girl.
I've got theories.
He was stupid, and he deserved what he got. Got shipped his ass up to the North Pole. Get out of here, John.
See, I spent last review going, why is John Myers here?
John scheming ass Myers.
Why are you here? You're not needed. Like, you're introducing this weird love triangle that I don't care for.
Yeah.
What's happening? But now in this movie, I'm like, where's John Myers? Why can't John Myers... Where's John Myers at? Can we check in on John Myers? Please?
He's fine. He's cold.
Yeah, so Hellboy gets him transferred to Antarctica.
To Antarctica.
And but I think I genuinely did miss him in this film. I didn't need him to have a big role. And I did look into it. He was in a play in London at the time, so he was actually unable to return. So that's why they had to write him out. But I reckon he'd been a perfect character to have the prince kill, if I'm honest, and like make it really personal.
Like, yeah, another like quote unquote father figure that he gets close to gets murked again.
Yeah, second film. Yeah, because he had Clay died and his actual human dad died, and then like Myers is meant to be the guy who's going to look after him in the future, and then he gets murdered as well. Yeah,
but he keeps getting mad, and then friggin' Myers comes in and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to take care of you, but also Liz." And like, you can't do that.
Well, I've just got a theory. I've got a theory. Liz is revealed to be pregnant partway through the film.
Right at the beginning.
Quite early, actually. Almost instantaneously. It's like the first scene. Abe's like touching.
In the first scene with the tooth fairies.
Abe touches her belly and he's like, "Oh, you're pregnant."
Also, he has no goddamn tact. You couldn't have waited until y'all were done with this scene, like back at home. He's like, "Oh, you're pregnant," and she's like, "Who's pregnant?" And he's like, "You are," and she's like, "Not me."
Yeah, well,
no.
Well, I reckon the reason why John Myers got sent to Antarctica was because I reckon John Myers may have been a dad, because he was probably still scheming away.
You think John Myers, classic normal white guy nut, beat it out Hellboy nut?
Yep, I'm saying it. I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I reckon it all makes sense. Why is he not there? Why is she pregnant?
It's literally from another dimension, Hellboy is.
I'm just saying that's my theory, you know?
But your theory is wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Your theory's wrong, because if your theory's right, then I'm glad we didn't get a third movie.
Oh, could you imagine, though?
Because they would just be normal human-ass babies that could set themselves on fire like Liz. That's boring. We've seen that. I don't need that. What I need is little tiny ugly-ass Hellboys with big buck-ass rabbit teeth.
You don't want two more of those running around.
Set them on fire. They can set themselves on fire. That's what I needed in my life. The audacity. Like, literally, it makes me so upset that we don't have a third one. I can't even talk. Imagine Abe babysitting the babies.
That would be fun. Teaching
them how to swim. So cute.
I can't believe they didn't make a third. I cannot believe it. It doesn't.
I can't believe they didn't make a third.
But anyway, that's my
Del
opinion.
Toro has enough money. He should do it for free.
But that's my opinion on Myers. I didn't think he was needed in the first film, but they put him in, and then I missed him in the second one. And I think he could have had a good. I wanted him to die, essentially.
You only wanted him so that he could die.
Yeah.
Rude.
Well, maybe. Speaking of rude, why is every character in this film annoying, Porgy? Let me run.
What do you mean?
Right, Hellboy. This is my main.
Hellboy's annoying because he's like 21 in this movie.
This is my main thing I hate about this movie. This is why my enjoyment of this movie is sapped massively. And I thought this the first time, and it's all still true in my opinion. Hellboy has somehow regressed even more into an annoying teenager since the last film. One of my notes was, I'm 39 minutes in, and I have found Hellboy to be quite unlikable. I get that he has to be a bit of an arse in order to have a character grow, but he's devolved so massively since we last saw him. We're just essentially retreading the same ground, but then also he'll find out that he's a dad in a bit. Or John Myers is his dad, who knows?
Yeah, I feel like the only way that I could like kind of see that makes sense, because I totally agree with you. He felt more like a teen in this than he did in the first movie. But I wonder if it's because now Liz is living with him and doing everything for him. So he can kind of like take that step. But that's the only, and I'm grasping at straws here. Like that's the only thing I can think of is like maybe he's like kind of taking her for granted and taking like his life for granted. And like he wants more and he wants all this stuff that he can't have. And
yeah, no, that all makes sense. That all makes absolute perfect sense. But I just didn't want to see it, and I also didn't really want to see all the romance stuff for a second time, because my main big problem with the middle part of the first film is we're stuck in this stupid love triangle kind of, and I'm like, we're doing a romance again, like in romantic like relationship troubles again. Liz,
I'm here for it this time.
Are you?
More than I was here for it the last time. Because the scene where Red and Abe get drunk together.
That is a good scene.
Lives in my heart and in my head rent free.
That is a good scene.
I love them bonding together as like just two bros. Like they never got to do that before. And now they're just like, he's like, I don't think I can cry. I don't have tear ducts. And Hellboy's like, I'm a demon. I'm going to drink another beer for you because you're in love. And that means you need a beer and I need a beer. And we're just going to get drunk and talk about our ladies.
At one point, they go and have a conversation literally next to her. Like, Liz is
He's
asleep.
like, I love this girl. And I bet Liz is like, I'm awake now because you're screaming into my ear hole.
But Liz, like, another character I've got a bit of a problem with, Liz, I feel like is kind of stuck.
Liz is annoying as hell, but that could be the pregnancy hormones.
Maybe. But she's moping around. She's threatening to leave. She kind of does. She comes back. No one's moved on.
Pregnancy.
Yeah.
She's growing 2 whole people in there. Spoilers.
I just want a film where Hellboy does more punchy to stuff that needs a punchy punch.
He does when he gets older. He has to do his teenage fucking around and finding out years. And he fucked around with Liz, and now he's finding out because he's a dad twicey.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he's like, oh shit, I guess I can't be a fucking dumbass kid anymore. I guess I gotta be an actual grown-up because I've been living on Earth for like 120 years at this point.
Another character I find annoying, Johann Kraus, voiced by Seth MacFarlane. This one is intentionally annoying.
Yeah.
He's an annoying thorn in Hellboy's side, but I find his smug attitude and that he can kind of just do everything perfectly. It grates on me absolutely big time. I do enjoy...
That means he was written well, Bobby. That's what that means.
Yeah, but when you couple it with this other stuff that I don't think was written well, I'm just like... I enjoy that Hellboy doesn't like him essentially because he's German, because he's had such a bad time with Nazis and stuff.
Wait, I have a quote. It's when they were... Hold on. Where is it? They were waiting for him to, like, show up.
They gather around the elevator as it's coming down.
They're all gathered around. Hold on, I'm laughing at the Prince's Naruto run. Oh, they're all sitting around and he's like, what's this guy's name? And Manning goes, his name is Johann Kraus. And Hellboy immediately looks at the elevator and goes, is he German? It sounds German. And nobody responds and they're all talking and then he turns around and leans forward and he goes, Germans make me nervous. And then the doors open.
See, I like that.
Which is so funny considering Nazis are the reason why he's around on this planet.
Yeah.
Like, it checks out.
Yeah, it really does.
Germans make me nervous.
I remember hating Johann Kraus when I first watched this film. I still hate him now. But in fairness to the film, he's meant to be annoying. Later on, he kind of has a bit of a character twist.
Wait, because you find out he was married.
And he's not such an annoying person. He's like sides of Hellboy and stuff, but... And I personally...
I don't know, when he kicked Hellboy's ass, when Hellboy got out of that shower montage, that was so funny.
He gets beaten up by a locker room. Yeah. Which I've seen.
He gets the shit beat out of him. Like, those lockers kick his ass.
Which I remembered really despising again when I was watching this in the theater.
I loved that. So this movie is way more like schlocky and way funnier. I think most people who are like diehard like cult classic fans of this, like I am, like the second one. I kind of like the second one almost more than the first one.
A lot of people say that.
Because of how funny it is, and you get to see like the humanity of the group a little bit more. I feel like the first one you're kind of like learning about the universe and learning about everything, but like here you get to see them like have real life problems, and that's kind of fun too.
Not punchy if you ask me.
I think there was a lot of punchy happening.
There was a decent amount of punchy.
The fight scenes in this are so well choreographed.
Yeah, we'll get to some of those.
They're gorgeous.
I still get, even though I know he doesn't betray the team, I still get big "I'm a bad guy and I'm going to betray you" vibes from Kraus. That's probably just because he's a bit German.
We could have gotten that in the third movie though.
Yeah.
Like what if big bad rah Rasputin came back as Johann, and you find out they were like working together. Del Toro, what are we doing? Get off your fucking ass. Made this movie, my guy. Jesus.
A character I don't have a problem with is the Elven Prince. I've got nothing against him, other than the fact that when we first meet him, he needs to put a shirt on and stop hanging out in the subway like a loser. And also, he's been
I
studying.
have subway karate montage.
Yeah, he's
down.
been studying the same school of wave your weapon around flashily for no reason at all.
Yeah.
That the sand clockwork Nazi assassin did in the first film. Just like,
I want to braid his
just
hair.
doing nothing. Put a shirt on. What are you doing?
I want to braid his hair and watch it also braid his sister's hair at the same time. Ooh, girl.
Abe Sapien has a love boner the entire time.
Yeah.
Which is, it does lead to that really good scene where they're just having beers.
It's so cute.
But, like, Abe, stop it. Come on. Grow up, boy.
So I think the reason why I like their situation so much is because it's not physical at all, right? I feel like Abe and Liz's relationship is way more like physical attraction there. And less so, because, like, they don't really get along, right? Like, they're arguing the whole time. Like, she's super distant, he's super distant. Like, they're not, like, emotionally connected. So when you have the flip side of that, and, I mean, like, Abe and the princess are still having the same kind of issues that, you know, Hellboy's having. But there's so much more of, like, their only emotional connection, right? Because, like, I wonder if she even, like, felt that way sexually towards him. Probably not. I don't know if they would if they have such a close twin bond. That's fucking weird. I'm not trying to give my brother a boner while I'm thinking about my fish boyfriend. So, like, I wonder if... So that was way more of like a... Like, whenever they touched each other's hands and they could, like, see into each other's souls. Like, I feel like it was just so much more deep. And, like, immediately, like, when he's like, I love this person because they're the only other person that is like me I've ever met in my entire life. And that I will ever meet in my entire life. He's like, so his mind is probably like, if I don't make this connection with this person right now, I'm going to lose this chance forever.
Yeah.
And I'll never connect with another being the same way ever.
Yeah. I do enjoy how...
which is terrifying.
I enjoy how he switches away from listening to just classical music to, like, love pop ballads. To, like, because he's...
Can't smile. I'm going to get copyrighted.
Speaking of the Elven Princess, though,
Yeah.
not a fan of her either. I'll tell you why.
Why?
She's an enabler.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I do not have time for her. There is no way they only just figured out during this film that they feel each other's pains and know each other's thoughts, although no, not quite enough to know which book it is, but whatever. The thing's in.
No, I'm sure they always had that.
She should have killed herself, and thus her brother, the second he tried to kill their dad. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I would have, if I was her, I would have stabbed myself as he was going to kill my dad. Then I would have been like, everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
Bad person. She's a bad person, that's what
whatever,
I'm saying.
she wanted to be a little bit horny first. Give the bitch a break. Let her live. It's not like people died or anything. Everyone's fine. Goddamn.
Did you like how many monsters there were? Just like there's a hallway scene. Just switching track completely. There's a hallway scene.
Oh, where the Manning's walking in the beginning?
Yeah, and there's just like loads
Yeah.
of stuff happening behind, and it's so Men in Black. Did you enjoy that? It really.
I literally wrote down, I'm here for the Men in Black crossover.
Yeah, it's like every time we saw it in the
Yeah.
first film, there was no one down there. It was
No
a
one.
ghost town, and in this one, there's loads of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's been a change in policy since Hellboy's human dad died, which was the policy must have been previously kill everything.
Shut the fuck up.
And now
Kill it all.
because there's nothing down there other than Hellboy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now it's maybe we'll look at this thing later. You know, we'll keep him down here for a bit.
Sure.
There's something's changed. There's a face hugger in this film as well. But like,
Yeah, there is.
Just out of nowhere, I'm like, what? Hang on a second.
Yeah, but this one has an eyeball on its ass.
Well, of course it does, because it's Guillermo del Toro. I can't even say his name. Everything that he creates has an eyeball in a weird place.
Heck
He
yeah.
can't help himself. He's like, well, here's...
I really
here's a
like
monster.
in that scene as the prince was like taking over the auction or whatever to get the piece of his crown back. As soon as the fairies started attacking people, there was a guy with a dog in the front row, and he covered the dog's eyes as soon as people started dying, and that was so funny.
You know, gotta
He's like, "Don't look, shh, don't look, just close your eyes, shh, go to sleep, it's fine."
Oh, So the scene following that actually, so they go to investigate that the auction house. Everyone's dead, and they get attacked by the hundreds of thousands of tooth fairies who eat you alive.
Yeah, and they're
eat
sick
your
looking.
bones. And they're really hard to shoot. Obviously, there's some plot armor from some of the protagonists where they're just standing in a circle and they're somehow not being attacked, and they manage to just shoot them. It takes Liz a business week to realize that she needs to flame on. Like, Liz, you've got one power. Deal with this.
Yeah, but like, surely her becoming a nuclear bomb isn't good for the baby. Like, this was right after she found out she was pregnant. That my first thought would be like, maybe I shouldn't set myself on
maybe
fire
go nuclear
if I'm with a child.
And that's why Abe shouldn't have told her. Because
that's why Abe shouldn't have told her. I think Abe shouldn't have told her. I don't think Abe should have told her.
He should have kept it a secret and let her find out for herself. Absolutely.
He should have shut the fuck up. He should not have been that guy. He was literally like, oh my God. Do you and Hellboy have sex with each other? That's disgusting. You got a fetus in there, you lady. And that's just, like, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. That was neither the time nor the place.
Absolutely. Hellboy gets blasted out the window. He's revealed to the public officially. And that comes back later on during a different fight. He does shoot a tooth fairy that's, or two tooth fairies, I think it is.
Two
actually,
of them.
that are just flying around.
And then the bullet
the
disintegrates.
Yep, that's my exact note. Where
and
did that bullet go?
doesn't murder those two people.
Those two ladies are lucky as hell that there was a magic disappearing bullet.
I wrote magic bullets.
Incredible. And then probably my favorite part of the movie is the troll market that comes quite soon after that. You got so many just characters and they're all like costumes and puppets and they look great.
They're so good.
How do they get in? They get in because Hellboy punches an old lady in the face. Good stuff.
Yeah, he does. She was gonna eat a cat. I'd punch her too.
Yeah. That old lady, by the way, gets punched in the face because Johann Kraus is too slow at opening the combination with his gas powers, which he could have done instantly, but he chose not to. So that old lady...
Or he could have been like, don't punch that lady. I can do this. We don't need her.
Yeah. It's very funny, though. He's just like, blam!
It's so funny.
And then we get the fight between Wink and Hellboy. The princess and Abe meet for the first time. There's a kid who's attached to one of the characters down there who isn't a kid.
He's not a baby, he's a tumor.
He's a tumor. I reckon they should have got Arnold Schwarzenegger to play him and do a version of the line. But whatever, missed opportunities. If he got paid as much as he would for old Batman and Robin, which was 25 million for his appearance in that film, this film couldn't have been made. So maybe that's why. There's a flipping forest elemental that looks incredible. And beautiful.
I said the forest god is super cool, and then as soon as Hellboy sees it, he goes, "I'm gonna need to break out big baby." And big baby is a revolver, exactly like his normal revolver, but if he's holding it in his hand, it's like this big.
Yeah, holds it here.
It's so ridiculous.
So good. So good. Yeah, so the this is something I didn't understand. The prince is trying to find his sister. He finds his sister, and then he does nothing, lets her go, and just releases this forest elemental. What are you doing?
I think this whole movie, Nuada was trying to prove that Hellboy was like them and not like the humans. So I think the only reason he forest godded them was to show Hellboy that like he's a pawn with the humans, and he's like, because there's this one part where he's about to kill it, and Nuada shows up on the roof like fucking Batman, and he's like, this is the last of its kind. I'm gonna gaslight the fuck out of you right now.
He does.
This is the last of its kind. If you kill it, the world will never see it again. And Hellboy's like, you literally caused him to be here to kill me. Huh?
Yeah, the prince...
This whole time, Hellboy's holding a baby with his ass.
The prince turns
the whole
up.
time.
And he's like, yeah, so he's got a baby. He's lobbing around like
This baby's got whiplash.
That baby's dead. After this scene, the humans hate Hellboy. And I'm
He's throwing the baby around, and then he fires Big Baby 3 inches away from this baby's head, so this baby's deaf. Like,
yeah, the prince.
Poor baby.
The prince turns up, Batman style, like you say, and he's like, "Is this what you wanted?" And he's like, "You're the idiot. You did this.
Look what you've done." And Hellboy's like, "I didn't do shit.
You did this. This is all on you. What are you talking about?" So stupid. Oh, Hellboy! I can't believe Hellboy didn't just look at him and go,
Yeah.
"What's wrong with you?" Oh.
The prince is the gaslightiest little bitch ever.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Later on, I'm just kind of going through this in chronological order at this point of all my thoughts on things.
Okay, well, so this time, then they go back, and then this is when the sad shower beer montage is.
Yes, Abe needs to put some
and then
clothes
he gets his
on.
ass kicked by the lockers, and then Johann Kraus says a word that I've been quoting that nobody else fucking understands whenever I do say it. Whenever I have to say the word focused, I pronounce it fuck you, like he does in this movie.
With
and
your
nobody
accent?
ever understands it. Nobody ever gets it. Yeah, that word with your accent, I wouldn't use it so much. And then they get drunk, and then Hellboy calls Nuada your royal assness.
Well, Abe's walking around with no clothes on. He can't stop hitting on the elf lady who's now...
Hell yeah. Also, wait, now that you said that, why is it that in this movie, Abe can breathe air?
He has his thing on...
No, he does not.
He
not
does,
this movie.
He does at the start.
In the beginning.
Because it gets called a toilet seat by Jimmy Kimmel or some late night
so
host.
he takes it off, and then he puts the contacts in, and then he can breathe air. Huh?
Yeah, magical. I'm wearing contacts right now. That's how I'm not using my mouth or nose to breathe. It's the eyes. Yeah, no, I don't know what you can.
Sus as fuck.
It's
Sus
at this point in the franchise that you realize that Del Toro is obsessed with interspecies sex, because it's like we've got elves and fishmen, demons and women who can set themselves on fire, and then later he makes Shape of Water. He's obsessed.
Listen
He's obsessed.
to me. You leave us monster fuckers alone. You leave us alone. Let us have this.
Going back to the locker room fight, Johan deserves that punch in the face, by the way. He deserves it.
Oh, 100%.
He's being an absolute knob.
Yeah.
But then he does beat up Hellboy as a locker.
It's very funny.
Stupid. So stupid. Skipping forward a couple of scenes, Liz straight up gets Hellboy stabbed in the heart. She decides to come in and have the "I'm pregnant" conversation while he's having a fight with the prince. And I assume that's what she's coming in for anyway. I'm like, Liz, what are you doing? All you've done in this film is mope around, threaten to leave.
I think she came in because she was like, what the hell's going on? And then Hellboy turned around and he was like, oh, Liz, I'm drunk. And she was like, there's a bitch behind you. And he was like, duh. And then he gets stabbed right in the titty. And that's where his heart is he keeps it stores it in the titty. And he got stabbed right there by the guy. And then he looks at him in his best My Chemical Romance impression, and he goes, you thought you were immortal. And then he breaks the tip off of it, and he goes, now you're mortal, bitch. Just like that. It's in the script. Don't quote me. Don't look it up. Don't get the receipts.
It's all implied.
And then he kidnaps his sister.
Yep.
Because he got the location of the Golden Army.
From her dad leaves her something in the wheel and the map. The map is the case.
And the map maker guy was super cool looking too.
Can't remember. It looks like, if I'm honest with you.
He had like a triangle kind of head.
Completely blanked him from my brain.
It's pretty great. He's pretty great.
Fair enough. It leads to them going to Ireland, where we meet some fellas, including the Angel of Death, who again is...
Who is my second favorite creature design of all time.
Ooh, also played by Doug Jones. His costume, I think I heard, was so heavy that he basically had to sit down wearing it because he couldn't stand up for very long. So that's why he's always crouching and stuff, is because that stuff is heavy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the outfit is it's huge.
And you know
the stuff he's wearing is so cool.
You know it's a Del Toro kind of design. Why? Because there's eyes everywhere.
Eyeballs! There's eyeballs
not where
everywhere.
there should be. Everywhere else on his wings.
Biblically accurate Angel of Death.
It looks good. It really does. Barely an inconvenience for the Angel of Death to save Hellboy, though. That's great stuff. And then the Angel of Death is like, oh, you're gonna... I know I've taken out the thing that's killing him, but now you have to give him a reason to live. And Liz is like, bloody good thing I'm pregnant then. I'll just whisper that in his ear. It's like... Oh, all right.
Can I just say, right before they meet the Angel of Death, they meet this little funky guy. And he's basically like a minotaur, but if the bottom half was a cart instead of a bull.
Yes.
So he like collects shiny things. And for some reason, Liz talks to this man like he's fucking stupid. Like, she's like, look, a pair of magical eyes. And he's like, I have binoculars.
That's funny, though. That's a funny response.
But the whole time, she continues to talk to him like he's stupid. The whole time. I'm like, Liz, stop disrespecting this man.
It's true.
Who's the only reason why your husband, by the way, is going to be alive.
Yeah, good thing they met that little goblin fella who likes shiny things, because otherwise they would have been screwed, because they were just walking around the Irish countryside.
Liz was like, my shiny eyes, and he's like, you're fucking, why are you belittling me? And he just like left. Then the movie would have ended.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm done, actually. You're being very rude.
You're a bitch. Actually, I don't want to help you anymore. Actually, I hate your face, so find it yourself. Thank you.
Then we're in end fight time where they've gone down to where the Golden Army are kept. There's like 7 in the opening scene. The goblin, I think that little goblin guy is implied to be the one who made the army. There was like a throwaway line, but I didn't write it down. But I was like, I'm sure he's implied that he was the one who made them for the elves in the first place. But he's in the opening bit. It's like 70 times 70, which is just a really cool way of saying a big number, isn't it? Like,
1400, yeah.
Yeah, rather than just saying that, it's like, oh, okay.
Because they're not angels. They're friggin' elves, and elves are the most pompous. Like, 70 times 70. Carl, it's just right the fuck. No, fuck you. It's 70 times.
Sounds much cooler when I say it out loud.
Sounds so much cooler. And as they're like ascending to the Golden Army's like at the top of this like really big staircase, and I wrote in my notes, oh my god, the Golden Army must be in Edinburgh because there's fucking stairs for days. So that makes sense. It checks out that it was in that area of the world. Can confirm.
Not too far away. Well, considering they started in New York and now they're in the, that area, UK and etc. Abe betrays the team. He's going to give the final piece of the... Oh, they're looking for a crown, by the way. I didn't even mention... They need the crown pieces. Abe's like, I've got the last
The crown
piece.
controls the army.
Yes. Because he's got his big fish boner for the princess. So he's like, I'll give it to the prince so we can kill us all.
Well, because they show up at the place where the Golden Army is, and the prince and the princess have changed into this sick monochrome fit that's the same color as their skin and their hair, and I'm here for it. It's a look. So they're both serving, and they show up, and Abe's like, don't worry, you would do this for Liz. And Hellboy's like, the fuck I would. And he throws the thing, and then he's like, hey, I'm royal, so wake up and kill these guys. And then they do.
Abe's absolutely shocked. He's like, he betrayed us. It's like, yeah, Abe. Of course he did.
And then Hellboy goes, if we get out of this alive, you and I need to have a talk.
There's a big CGI fight, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure the CGI is as good as the previous film with the big squid fight. But it's still cool to see. And there's big cogs everywhere. And the robots, well, they are robots. The Golden Army, they kind of like rebuild themselves after being killed.
Yep.
So that's why they're indestructible in a way. Big cog fight between Prince and Hellboy. Good stuff. Yep.
I wrote super cool fight, very steampunk, no notes.
Yeah. Well, Hellboy goes through under like the cog at one point, and I was like, having just seen my best favorite character, Mr. Wink, get mushed, I was like, hang on a minute. Do we get another
You
mushroom?
say just Wink dies in the first like 20 minutes of the movie.
He's the best character.
So this is like an hour later.
Yeah, it's still fresh in my mind. Big cog-related deaths. But he's fine. Somehow appears on the other side. Not sure. Whatever. Big fight. Good stuff. Lots of like, elf flipping and flopping doing this for no reason. And then finally, big suicide by Twin. Abe devastated. He's never going to get any.
Yeah. I wrote, sorry, Abe, first heartbreaks are a bitch.
And it's good to see that the princess finally did the right thing like a couple of days later than she should have done, Mm-hmm. And also, just as a final note on that, when the elves die, they turn into statues and not a single statue looked like the actor they were portraying. Garbage work. And I'm pretty sure they were CG.
They turned into like this like marble something.
Yeah.
Like you could have just hired someone to make statues.
Just pose and put a filter over them and go, a marble filter, and it's like that'll do. Looks stupid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of the end. Apart from they then leave and they all quit.
Yeah, so they leave and Manning is there like, you guys can't take the plane whenever you want. Like, you got to sign the paperwork. And they're all like, hey, Manning, I actually hate you and your face, so I quit. And then Hellboy comes back and he's like, I'm keeping my gun. And then as they're walking away, he's like talking about like, I'm so excited. Like, we need to find a place with a big yard so that the baby can run around. And then Liz goes, babies. And he goes, and he turns around and she goes, cut to credits. We never get a fucking third movie.
That's the end. Which, by the way,
and we never get a third movie.
I think is the perfect place for a third film to start with a more grounded or comic accurate Hellboy, not with the big BPRD or whatever they're called, just wandering around the woods punching things randomly. That could have been the start of the film.
If the Harbor reboot, whatever the frick it was marketed as, this is one of Hellboy's kids all grown up, I would have loved it. Because that could have just been a way to cop out, make that the third movie. And then it would explain why David Harbour's Hellboy looked like dog shit. Because it was also half ugly-ass, mopped haircut Liz. That would make sense. I just have problems with this franchise.
This franchise has a big problem of just forever trying to reboot itself when it doesn't need to.
Forever? Only the last like 5 years they've been messing with this franchise.
2 in 5 years is quite a lot of reboots.
Yeah.
The problem I have with the ending is that they all quit, and including Johann Kraus, who for the majority of the movie has essentially been in charge. He's kind of usurped Manning every way. There's like a scene where Manning goes, he knows I'm in charge, right? He respects me still, right? he doesn't, for the record. He's definitely in charge, and you're like being walked over. But then, so just before they go to Ireland, Johann's like, you can't take the plane. And then he's like, you can take the plane. And then,
well, because I think he was like, no, you can't take the plane. And then Liz was like, you're not even human anymore, you ugly fart. And then she's like, you're just a big queef. I'm not listening to you. And then he's like, but wait, I was not always a queef. Look at this. Rings. I was married. Those used to be on human hands that belonged to me. I loved her. And then she died. And then I was sad. And now I'm gas. Don't worry about it. I'll explain it later. Never explains it.
No. And then, so he's part of the big quit team. And I'm like, you haven't earned this. You've been the worst of all of them. Quite honestly.
Unless he just like really liked, because in the Bionicle fight, he like released his gassy self and possessed one of the monsters. So maybe that was just like the best experience of his life, and he was like, I can't be bogged down by human things such as jobs. I can just go be whatever I want.
Like a photocopier in an office and just do what I want, you know?
He's like, why am I paying taxes when I can just do this?
Surely I'm legally dead. I don't have a body. How's this working out?
He worked for the United States government. He would 100% still had to pay taxes. The government doesn't care if you're dead.
Oh dear. So in summary, we've kind of talked through the entire film there, almost beat for beat. And we've had a good time. I very much enjoyed reviewing this. But there are a lot of character points, like I said at the very start, where I'm just like, why is Hellboy so annoying? Why is Liz so annoying? Why is Johan all allowed because he's meant to be? I just feel like these relationship things just aren't needed in Hellboy. Let him go around saving the world slightly more. It's because what would they, if they'd have made a third film, it would have just been him looking after. It would have been a dad comedy, like struggling to look after kids, and then it'd have gone, and Ragnarok's happening in the background for the last 10 minutes. Based on how this is going. You know what we like
to call that? You know what we call that in the industry? Fan service. You know what I am? A fan. You know what I would be if I got that? Happy. Next question.
Basically, I'm in the same position.
I would feel serviced.
I'm in the same position that I was last week when we did Hellboy 1, which is I'm really curious to rewatch the David Harbour film, which I've definitely only seen once because I remember enjoying it and then not enjoying it. So we're going to rewatch that in the future real soon, and we'll be back for another review. Torgie, do you have anything else you'd like to add? Any more quotes you'd like to throw in just before we finish?
I'm just going to look through because I take really good notes. And I just want it to be known that Bobby took 45 minutes right before we started recording this to
my notes still don't make sense.
Like fancy up his notes, and then they still look like shit. So like,
they're awful. They're awful. They're the worst notes I've ever prepared for a podcast.
Yeah, the first quote I have is "God, I hate YouTube."
That's a good quote. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Manning upset
and then
about
when.
everything.
And then when Manning was trying to get Hellboy to shut up and be quiet when they were going to New York, Hellboy goes in and out like a shadow in the night. And then he takes the cigars and he goes onto the ship. And that was very funny.
In the very next scene, he betrays Manning and gets revealed to the public. On purpose, by the way. Liz is like, don't stand by the window. And he's like, no, I'm going to stand right here. Thank you very much. He's like,
that sign can't stop me. I can't read.
Any more quotes? I mean, there's no quotes as good as look at the size of that whammer. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, but then the next quote I have is when Hellboy and Abe are getting drunk in the library. And he's like trying to figure out the name of the song. And he's like, it's track 8. And Hellboy goes, can't smile without you. And then Abe goes, I know. And he goes, yep, I'm going to need another beer. And then they get drunk and they sing it together, and it's so nice.
And everyone in the facility can hear them. You
hear it.
You get the perspectives of loads of different agents and like various people. Like Liz is there, just going like,
just like looking at the ceiling, like what the fuck is happening?
Who's singing?
Which is so funny considering that is the thing that makes everyone stop and go, what the hell? When there's like monsters killing people all the time and everyone's just like having conversations.
Yeah. Good stuff. Oh, there we go. Well, there's our review, as crazy as it was, of Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. We'll be back soon to do the David Harbour.
Wait, what's your final verdict? You didn't say what you think about it.
I can't give it a thumbs down because I did enjoy parts of it. But it is a lot weaker, in my opinion, than the first film. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. But yeah, not as strong as last week's, definitely. You're going to give it a big old thumbs up, though. You love it. Yeah, I know. You're all about it.
I love all the monster design. Like, I am just so here for all of that. Like, all of the... Because they all looked so different from each other, and they all moved differently, and they all spoke differently, and, like, I am here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here for it, and we got so many dope monsters in this one.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, anyway.
And I'm nervous about the David Harbour one. Because I also have only seen it one time. And
the
I almost
first 40 minutes
are
good from memory. But we'll find out if I...
Because there's naked grandma. Who doesn't love naked grandma? Spoilers.
Thank you so much for watching and listening, everybody. We'll be back soon with David Harbour's reboot of Hellboy, which was released in 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know what we think of that. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.